Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory and fear to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Arakar. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and lead our nation. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect brothers out there that's striving for salvation during these electrifying times in sincerity and truth. And what I want to go in today in camp, it's a lot of things going on, man. It's, you know, of course you got the everything that's developing with the so-called election here in the United States. Because when you look at the election, that's one of the issues that's going on with Russia and the United States, or why they put Donald Trump on. He had went up on they were trying to impeach him or whatnot. Well, you got to pay close attention to what's going on in that election, because I personally want Trump to get reelected, because I think that he's the one that got the cojones, got the webbles, the balls to actually push forth more and more prophecies. More prophecies has come to pass. It seemed like the Most High turned the dial up when this guy got in office. Obama did some things. He passed some executive orders and stuff like that. But this dude Trump, he actually has, I think what it takes, to spring forth more and more prophecies. And the Most High uses this situation as him being in office as a way, to bring forth more of these prophecies. But I'm gonna open up with one of my favorite scriptures. I always open up with this scripture in Romans. The page just flipped to it. It's like it's got like a spiritual, mark to set there, because I go to it every time I open up. This is Romans 13:11. It says, "And that, knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed." And that's on point, because our salvation is closer and closer as prophecies come on in. And we getting closer and closer. We coming out of this captivity, up under the thumb and the rulership of the so-called white man, whose biblical nationality is the Edomites. You're in rulership. You're the one this is your kingdom. Everything happens up under your watch and how you say it and the way it goes. And you've been ruling a wicked rulership ever since you came into power. And it's time for you to be exited out of that power seat, and then let the true rulers who Most High intended on, which is us Israelites, who we've disobeyed him and had to go in subjection up under you. But that's coming to a close. And then I'd be remiss if I don't speak on the coronavirus. Matter of fact, that's going to be the primary lesson today, is going into that, because the Most High said that these are things that he was going to be doing, and these are things that we need to be looking for in these times happening. While people are praying for it not to break out to a full-on pandemic, we hoping that it gets to a pandemic faster and sooner. This is 2 Esdras 9:1. It says he answered me then and said, "Measure thou the times diligently in itself." How you measure the times? You have to look and see what the scriptures say, what will be happening in the times leading up to Yahweh's return. You go to Matthew's the 24th chapter, he gives a long list of the things that will be happening, amongst other things. Then he said, even though these things might happen, the end is not yet. So you got to keep watching. It says, when thou seest the part of the signs pass, which I told thee before, then thou understandest that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So this whole coronavirus is a visitation of the Most High. It's how he basically greeting you with this pandemic, this slowly approaching up a pandemic. It's an epidemic out there in Wuhan, China, and all throughout China. They've got over 300 million, estimated 300 million people that are in quarantine. There's so many reports. False reports, non-reports, and then there's some factual reports. But it doesn't matter whether what's true or false. The fact is it's happening because it's a prophecy. The Most High said that this is one of the ways He's gonna begin to visit the land. visit the earth. Verse 2. Thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when thou shalt be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and that's been happening for a while now, but it's happening more and more often. They don't even report all the earthquakes that take place, and then they're stopped reporting all the uproars from the different nations out there. You had the Brexit, you had Britain, they exited out of the EU. You have you got Germany is thinking about exiting out the EU, and France. You got all these strong nations that are rich. Those are the iron, or the miry clay. You have the iron mixed with miry clay. The scriptures talk about in Daniel. That statue, the 10 toes, some of the toes were weak and some of the toes were strong. The strong ones are exiting out because they don't want to carry the weak ones. That's another prophecy that's happening. And you look at the stock market. The stock market is, oh man, I'm going to go into that. I'm going to hold that. I'm going to go into that. Because this coronavirus is touching the financial coin of the world. Because they don't have enough funds and money to carry all the different medicines to treat these people. This is back in verse 4. It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee. Matthew the 24th chapter. Even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. The end is manifesting. What is the end? What is the end? This place getting shot down with nuclear missiles. Yahushua come back, and all these people were being and put into subjection under order of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua's holy righteous kingdom, led by our heavenly Father, Yahushua, then the elite, the elect, Salakia, the elect, and then the rest of the 1/3, and then on down to the 2/3 as they repopulate this earth. When they come back in the reincarnation, they'll have their seat in the rulership, being on top and ruling in this world, because they take part in what? The inheritance. They take part in the covenant. They're part of this, so they'll have their time to be on the earth in this rulership. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. These are all happening right now. You have earthquakes. You got people in an uproar. You got people starving. You got people getting put to death. You got famines, and it's just going to multiply on a higher level. It's going to be more and more and more of this happening, and it's going to be coming to the fact that people are going to want to have answers. They're going to want to know what's going on. They're not being fed in the churches. People are it's going to be a mass evacuation out of the churches, but it doesn't matter, because if you're not part of the Most High's 1/3 and His elect, then it doesn't matter if you're in the church or not. Judgment is coming your way. So you have so mercy of the Most High is going to land on His elect in the 1/3. The 2/3, a lot of the 2/3, you're sitting up in this church and you're not even being told. They talk about the coronavirus. Your pastor's supposed to be. He's supposed to be what? He's supposed to be. Well, that's in the scriptures, right? That's in the scriptures. That's called a pestilence, a plague. But they're not doing that. They ain't telling these people that. I'm gonna hold this, and I'm gonna go on over to pick up another scripture, because bear with me for a second. That should be. Is this exactly right? It should be in Zephaniah what I'm looking for. Beautiful. All right, so the stock market is taking hits every day. As more and more as this virus continues to grow and groom itself into the power that the Most High is manifesting it to be, and it's going to creep and crawl all across the earth, and there's nothing to be able to stop it. The reason being is because it's sent by the Most High. and he's the only one that can retract it. So if it does start to subside and it starts to, die down, like the Ebola did. The Ebola was one thing, was the boogeyman that was spooking the earth, and then the Most High had it come down, because this devil has plenty other biological warfare, pestilences that he gonna unleash on the people. There's gonna be people out here that you're gonna wish that you had the coronavirus, because this devil got other stuff cooked up that'll make your flesh just eat away. You're just eating yourself up. You're gonna see people just walking and they're just stumbling over, because why? Because they're getting eat up from the inside out. Don't tell it all the stuff that this devil got. He has a patent on the coronavirus, and so it's by design, and it's all the will of the Most High. But the thing is that stock market is taking a hit because they can't afford to mass produce medications for it, which you shouldn't even be attacking. That's a virus, so you shouldn't attack it with medicine. Attack it with herbs. Vitamin C. I seen a video of a Moabite doctor out there in Shanghai, China, and he was saying that they've been treating people with high volumes of vitamin C, IVCs, giving these people injections of high dosage injections of vitamin C, and they've been having promising effects. That's what you do. You pray to the Most High, and then you take your herbs and ask the Most High that it be so forth that His will is that He remove that from you through what? Through faith and belief and your diet and herbs. And if you catch that and it be the will that you suffer from that, that's another thing, man. That's just you just gotta take. You just gotta deal with. It is what it is. But at the same time, the Most High said He protects you. He's not gonna put something on you that you can't handle. But you people in the world, you 2/3, that's gonna consume you. I myself, I got some bug I'm dealing with right now. This is like head cold or something. It's actually getting better, but it was worse. But anyway, let's get into this the stock market. Why the stock market is plummeting, trillions and trillions on a day-to-day basis is losing. The Dow is dropping to lowest points that they've seen it in history. Why is that? Because that's the prophecy of the scriptures as well. This is Zephaniah 1:11. It says, "How, ye inhabitants of Maktesh." Maktesh was your ancient day. It was an ancient day Wall Street back then, when they would trade high-end, low-end commodities. Throughout different lands. People would grow different, at that point in time, it was real money cattle, and then you had gold, silver cattle, and then and the bartering system, where you would exchange for goods and services. That's how things were done back then. So they had a modern day Wall Street back then, and what happened back then is going to happen right now back in these times. So it says how, right? Because it's gonna suffer. It's gonna have pain. It's gonna be howling. And if you think about it right now, every day the Dow is dropping. And Wall Street is taking hits on the stock exchange with their commodities worldwide. It's taking dips. Why? It's howling. It says, "Ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down. All they that bear silver are cut off." And that's what's happening. That's going to happen more and more as this thing continues to unfold. People are going to lose their retirement. People are going to lose their job. The scripture said there shall be no work in Egypt. And the scriptures say that there will be no need for the bell. Slakia. There's no need for the alarm clocks, man. The modern day alarm clocks was back then was roosters and birds and stuff like that. Used to wake people up naturally, and they would get out to their craft or whatnot. But people ain't gonna have no work. They're not. The scriptures say that people are gonna be suffering financially because there'll be no work in Egypt. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees. And a lot of you Israelites are settled on your lees. A lot of you have the dependence on your financials, and you have dependence on your retirement and your Social Security, and you have in your jobs, you know, and what you deem to be what's important to you. Settling on your lees. Your lees could be anything that's more important to you than the Most High. That's a lees. That's not a necessity. Those are luxuries. The Most High is a necessity. You need the Most High. None of us are independent on no levels. That's why the scriptures say we must say, if it be the Lord's will, we do this or that. The spiritual man knows that. The natural man don't know that. So he settled in on his lees that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. Okay. And that's what people think. They think that this plague is it's gonna fade away. Okay. Therefore, their goods shall become a booty in their houses, a desolation. Because you're gonna have a situation where this outbreak can get so, just Lord willing, you know what I'm saying, that this happens, that it gets so bad. Because where I live out in the Inland Empire, in Riverside County, there's 54 cases of people that are being self-quarantined, because they know they got that shit. So they staying home. They're self-quarantined. But it's going to come a time where the government is going to have to step in, and they're going to tell people, you have to stay in the house. So what's going to happen to those people who don't have nothing in their house? When they need to eat, what they going to do? They can't go to the stores got padlocks on them. And people gonna be buying that shit up. So what's gonna happen? They're gonna get to going next door. They're gonna wanna know what you got in your fridge. Ain't no ringing the doorbell. It's breaking down the door. It says, they shall also build, let's start back at 13. Therefore their goods shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. Because these people who got these stockpile, these doomsday preppers, these people who got freaking thousands of gallons of water and food, dry food. They got generators, and they got deep freezers packed with food. That you're not gonna have that. That ain't gonna be for you. The Most High gonna find ways to his chosen, the hopeful elect is gonna make their way to those locations, and it's gonna take care of them. Because the scriptures say, matter of fact, the scriptures say, hold on, let me get it. Bear with me for a minute. People understand the Most High said He gonna be there for His. They're gonna eat, they're gonna drink, and the people out there is gonna suffer. Fact. Let me find this scripture through the Lord's will. Might have to come back to it if it don't come to me. But I think it's a couple of them. So all you gotta do is keep the faith in the Most High that He's gonna provide for you. Like those of us who's presented our bodies as a living sacrifice, and the Most High has called us to be His servant, He says that He's going to provide for them. He's going to provide safety for them. He's going to provide food for them. He's going to provide shelter for them. and their whole families, their whole household. It's escaping me, but basically it says I believe it's in Isaiah, but it says that man, I'm gonna just look it up because it's gonna be heavy on my spirit unless I pull it. Isn't that? I can't stand. I can't stand. Freaking blueberry beans. There we go. Here we go. Got it. So it was in Isaiah. It's Isaiah 65. And I'm going to start at verse 11. It says, "But ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forgotten my holy mountain, that prepared a table for that troop, and that furnished the drink offerings unto that number. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not." That's talking about 2/3. The other nations, you getting everything the 2/3 getting heavy and hard. But the 2/3, this is who the Most High is talking to, because when He sent His men out here to talk, you didn't pay attention, you didn't regard what He was saying, you ignored what He was saying, you kept doing what you've been doing. Verse 13. "Therefore thus shall the Lord thy power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of the heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit." So you're gonna be howling, just like matter of fact, go back to Zephaniah. You're gonna be howling, just like everybody's gonna be howling. Like the scripture said, howl for Maktesh, and Maktesh is howling. It's howling every day as it drops. Every day, the stock market, the Dow takes a hit, and it drops. So just like that, your Wall Street, your stock market is taking a hit and howling, you're going to take a hit and howl. You're not going to have food. You're not going to have drink. Because the Most High said He ain't giving it to you. He's giving that's for His servants. And the servants are going to drink, and they're going to eat, and they're going to praise the Most High. So you stockpiling up all that doomsday preppers, you're not going to be able to occupy, like the scripture said, you're going to, matter of fact, this is back in Zephaniah 1:13. It says, "Therefore, their goods shall be..." Actually, no, I'm going to start up. It shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that set up on their leads, that they in their hearts, that the Lord will not do good, neither will He do evil. Therefore, their goods shall be a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, and you're going to stock those houses with food that you're not going to be able to eat. but not inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. And you have some of these Israelites, and then a lot of these Edomites and these other nations, you have solar power, you know what I'm saying, which is damn near just as good as a generator. If their houses are connected, they have an exhaust system in their drainage and their plumbing systems, and they got indoor vegetation, man. You got indoor produce, your gardens and stuff, and you have all that stuff. You're all set up, but you're not going to inhabit it. Verse 14: the great day of the Lord is near. It is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. So you're gonna have grown men crying bitterly in these days. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Basically, you ain't gonna know what to do. You ain't gonna be able to. When they say talking about darkness and gloominess, mean you're not gonna have to understand what moves you should do, what should happen. It's gonna have death, trouble. You're gonna have famine. You're gonna have pestilence. You're gonna have the sword. You're gonna have concentration camps. You're gonna have martial law. Then you're gonna have these militia groups that's going out there, this hunting, seeking, and destroying. It's gonna be all out chaos. It's gonna be all out lawlessness. And the law enforcement they're not gonna be on the job. They're gonna throw them badges down and they're gonna retreat back to their own house to try to protect their own. And they're gonna be crying bitterly, like the scripture said. Verse 16, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities, talking about America, and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men. Like I said, you ain't gonna be blind men, meaning not that you can't see in front of you, but you have no spiritual instructions and guidance in righteousness. The Most High ain't gonna direct your steps. He's gonna run you right into danger. But the hopeful elect, he's gonna run them away from that danger. He's gonna have you going left, and he told his men to go right. And they're gonna go right to where they can get us to a situation where they may be safe, and they're gonna have food, and they're gonna have drink, and they're gonna praise the Most High, praise the holy name Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. That's what's gonna happen. It's banked. It's in motion. People don't see it, but you ain't gotta see it. You just gonna receive it. Verse 17. It says, "I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung." So you're gonna be, in layman's terms, in modern day terms, your blood is gonna be sitting on the cement like shit. When you see dogs roll by and they just stop and drop a dump right there, guess what? Your blood's gonna be just like that. The Most High gonna make sure that the stench of your blood from your corpse, from your body, is gonna leak right next to a pile of shit. It's gonna be like shit. That's what dung means. Verse 18, "Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath." You can't, the scriptures say, riches profit nothing in the day of judgment. It don't profit you. You can't buy your way out of Esau would try to buy his way out of that. When men come in their house, busting in their door, wanting their food and their daughter, and then their wife. Esau, I go to the safe. That money ain't gonna be worth nothing. They gonna open up your head, and they probably still go for that money. They gonna open you up. Verse 18, "Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land." He get rid of them. He gonna make a speedy riddance of them. Man, wipe them out. He gonna. And y'all don't know the Most High. You don't get in the scriptures. The scriptures say, "Blessed is he that read it." Why? Because you'll get an understanding how the Most High get down. People don't know how he get down. You think he's all love. Scriptures say he's a man of war. And he's going to declare war on this earth. and all those that are on the left-hand side and unrighteousness, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, he's declared a war on you. A war you can't prepare for. A war that you can't do nothing about. This war has been prepared against you. And he had his men come out telling you, get right with the Most High. Seek the Most High, where he may be, in the day where he may be found. No more putting off no more putting off the seeking of the Lord. This is Psalm 78, and I'm gonna start at verse. I'm gonna start at verse 47. It says, he destroyed their vines with hail, and their sycamore trees with frost. He gave up their cattle also to hail, and their flocks to hot thunderbolts. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil, Salakia, by sending evil angels among them. Those are death angels, by the way. They come to collect souls. The Most High's death angel, when they're sent forth, they're like the Terminators. The Terminator's a nice guy when it comes to, that's a nice, gentle man. The Terminator, you see how he go hard. That's just a nice gentleman when it comes to the Most High's death angels. And it ain't no like the movie you watch, when you watch Terminator, ain't no fighting against the angels, the death angels when they come. See, in Terminator, they fight against him. They try to kill him, but he keeps coming. He's on the trail. No, that ain't how it works. When you're dealing with the Most High, when them angels come, death is instant. Ain't no fighting against them. You can't even do nothing to them because that's an angelical force. They come in a celestial. They're celestial beings. You can't even grab hold of them, but they can just ignite your life. They're gonna just extract your soul straight out your flesh. Verse 49. Verse 49. He casted upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them. And them angels gonna get busy. They gonna go to work. He made a way to his anger. He spread not their souls from death. Salakia. Man, I'm getting excited. Man, let me slow down and read this again. Salakia. It says, he made a way to his anger. He spared not their souls from death, but gave their life over to the pestilence. And that's what's happening right now. The major pestilence that's going around right now is what? The coronavirus. The coronavirus is coming in the form of that death angel. And it's coming, that evil angel that he sent for is coming.